Hey guys, yeah. Um, so this doesn't really have anything to do with theogenesis or the kind of community or I guess theory that I've come up with. But I just wanted to take a moment to talk about immortality, or at least longevity, living for a really long time. One of the things about my theory of theogenesis is that it's going to take a very long time for it to actually happen. So it helps if you look after yourself, and if we actually look at what's going on with longevity. So I've come up with what I call the 3 pillars of immortality. So the first pillar is oxidative stress management. The second is power for your cells, or cell energy. And the third one is telomere maintenance. Because one of the main reasons we get old is because our cells can only divide a certain number of times because of the length of our telomeres at the ends of each of our DNA strands. So with the first one, so oxidative stress management. So we have things like astaxanthin, DHEA, nitric oxide, colloidal minerals to enhance communication between cells. We have electrolytes to alkalize water. It's very important to stay alkaline. Electrolytes are very good for that, especially magnesium, potassium, sodium, and chloride. And then there's resveratrol, which enhances the sirtuins. I don't know if you know about sirtuins, but it's basically a type of protein that's responsible for synthesizing your DNA. So it's very important. And it also helps your DNA expression, your epigenetics. So it's very important for that. And that helps to basically deal with oxidative stress because your cells have their own inbuilt mechanisms to deal with that. And then there's matcha green tea. It's got broad spectrum antioxidants. It's got polyphenols, flavonoids, and catechins. And then we have things like broccoli sprout powder, a lot of polyphenols, and sulforaphane. Targets the hydroxyl radicals, which are the most common and damaging type of free radical. And then we have things like vitamin C, vitamin E, beta carotene, and selenium are essential, just as a baseline. And then there's things like lymphatic drainage, which is really important because your lymph nodes are what actually drains out all of the toxic stuff that causes free radicals. Because again, you've basically got to keep your body alkaline. If you have too much acid, it's not going to work. So the lymphatic system gets all the acid out, so it helps your body to maintain an alkaline environment. And then there's things like ginkgo biloba, which enhances your lymphatic drainage, fisetin, which also activates glutathione, spermidine, CoQ10 or CoQ10. And then there's things like Yamanaka factors, which are talked a lot about by David Sinclair, so Dr. David Sinclair. Yamanaka factors are basically, there's 4 of them, elements that when put together, they basically reverse your methylation, which can be a good thing because methylation, so DNA methylation is a really important and necessary function. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any cell differentiation between cells. So it's important, but we also have adverse methylation that happens over time as we get older. So Yamanaka factors can reverse methylation, so that's good. And then there's other things like dasatinib, so DASATINIB. Dasatinib, it's an anti-cancer steroid that's used in medical procedures to deal with cancer. but you can also just get that individually without the other stuff that goes into what they use for that. Okay, and then there's cell energy. So we have, again, things like DHEA. It supports the production of ATP, colloidal minerals. Then there's NMN, nicotinamide mononucleotide, for NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide synthesis. So NMN is the molecule that you want to get. Very important for cell energy, especially for the isocitrates dehydrogenase, which is part of your cell. There's a little like organelle in your cell that uses that energy. Okay, and then there's calcium alpha coagulate, or CAKG. It provides energy for 1011 translocation, which again is like the IDH, the isocitrates dehydrogenase. It's another one of those little organelles. So there's different energy for different cell functions, basically. So that's NMN and calcium alpha ketoglutarate. Okay, and then amino acids. So make sure you have a complete protein amino acid blend. Your cells need amino acids to actually build stuff. And then there's cod liver oil, which basically provides energy. Cod liver oil is also, because it has, like the glucose, it provides basically also the building blocks. So amino acids, cod liver oil, because of the fat and the glucose. So cod liver oil is the most useful fat that your cells can use to actually build everything that they build, your body. And then there's electrolytes that are essential for healthy cell function, especially phosphorus. It's a very important electrolyte. It directly supports DNA synthesis, so phosphorus is absolutely essential. And then there are other things. Liquid oxygen is kind of a bit of a mixed bag. It's not complete research on that one, but there is some information to suggest that liquid oxygen is helpful. And then vitamin B6, particularly that B vitamin, it supports that process. So the amino acid, cod liver oil, glucose, the process of actually using those materials, vitamin B6 helps with that. And then sleep is really important, because that's how we get serotonin, and serotonin is also very important for general rejuvenation. And then the last pillar, telomere maintenance. So DHEA supports telomere synthesis, but it is limited in how much it can do. TA65 is a unique molecule that's been put together by TA Sciences, and it specifically targets the telomerase pathway, in the metabolic pathway in your cells, to trigger the production of telomerase, which is used to build your telomeres. So that's a really probably the most potent chemical molecule that can be used for that. It triggers the mitogen metabolic pathway to synthesize more telomerase. And then there's the sirtuins, activated by the NAD, restore epigenetic and maintain telomere health, but do not restore length like TA65. So yeah, so the sirtuins help. If they've been activated, they can do more. But yeah, it's limited in how much it can do. So that helps. If you just take NON for NAD, it'll help that process. But if you want to actually reverse your age, you pretty much need to have TA65. That's just for the telomere length. I mean, there's also, like, if you reverse your methylation, that'll make you young again, but then your cells still need to be able to actually divide. So that's why TA65. And then ginkgo biloba protects your telomeres. So when you have oxidative stress, the ginkgo biloba will prevent the damage caused by that stress. Okay, yeah, so I just wanted to take a minute to talk about that. I think longevity is really cool, and yeah, it really has nothing to do with theogenesis, but it's important enough that I wanted to just talk about it for a little bit. All right, cheers.